How should you chant mantra? Should you stick to one mantra, or should you chant a bunch of different mantras that are in alignment with your goals? In this video, I'll talk to you a little bit about my experience with both, and that way you can decide which one is right for you.
You can get the song Ganesha's Journey and other mantra tracks at JasonGallant.ca.
First, I'm just going to announce that this Friday we have a puja, October 23rd, and you can participate in the puja remotely by going to arathi.com, and if you click down below there'll be a link, or you can go to JasonGallant.ca and there'll be a link in my store where you can pay to join in to the puja remotely. Okay? I'm also doing the same thing with my meditations. I run meditation every week, 7 o'clock on Thursday nights, Pacific time. And I also run meditation 12 o'clock Pacific time on Sundays, okay, 12 to 1. So they're an hour each time, and if you want to participate remotely there is also a link in my online store at JasonGallant.ca, so you can join in if you wish, okay? To get to the question, how many mantras should you chant, and is it better to chant one or the other? I have answered a lot of these questions in my other mantra videos, but it seems like it's really tough for people to understand how to get around YouTube, and sometimes it's kind of tricky, right? So you can always find different videos. Like if you have a certain question, click on the little magnifying glass down below this video. There's a little magnifying glass. If you click on the channel name, JasonJGallant, in the magnifying glass, and then you punch in your question, any videos that are related to that question should pop up, okay? So you can always try that as an option. But for today, I'll answer your question again and try to put a little bit of a different spin on it, okay? So I have worked with multiple mantras at once, and I have also worked with one mantra at once. And the reason why I finally fixated on really working with one mantra at once is because your subconscious starts to get on board. You know, the energy in your entire system starts to get on board. You start to vibrate with this mantra. So even when you're not speaking it, it's like you're just like still resonating at this frequency, okay? And the reason why is because this mantra starts to become infused in you. You start to become intimate with that energy. And that's really the goal of mantra, is to become the mantra, become the energy, to totally let go of the mind. That's why mantra means to free from the mind. It's not about affirmation. Affirmations are just nothing more than micromanaging the mind. Mantra has to do with freeing from the mind altogether, okay? So when you're chanting more than one mantra, you'll notice that you're walking around one day and maybe you don't have your mala with you, maybe you're not listening to one of my mantra tracks and you're not keeping track of your mantras. There'll be a dead time where it's almost impossible for you to choose between the multiple mantras that you're chanting, and in your subconscious won't automatically turn on, right? So there's a lot of times where you're missing time where you could be chanting a mantra. Whereas when you chant one, you'll notice that it starts to go on automatic pilot. You know, you'll wake up in the middle of the night, sometimes from sleep or something, and you're still chanting this mantra, so it's still going, right? It's like a broken record, right? And that helps you get the repetitions in necessary to make the massive shifts in your spiritual development. You know, the major development, 125,000 repetitions, and then the 500,000 repetitions, and then the 1 million repetitions. These are the major marks that I've noticed, but they tend to be multiples of 125,000 are the major shifts. But the major ones I've noticed, like the really noticeable ones, usually are 125,000 and 500,000, but this will be different depending on the person, I'm sure. I'm sure each person will have their own specific karma around that, or specific illusion, or energetic resonance, okay? So if you wish to really make faster progress, I would recommend sticking to one mantra, unless of course you have a certain issue and you're saying, I really need to get to the bottom of this issue because in my life physically right now, it's really driving me nuts. I need to, say it's abundance, say it's depression, say it's something. And sometimes these combination of mantra stacks can really work well for you unraveling those issues, okay? Either way works. Both ways are good. It doesn't mean that one way is bad or wrong, and there's a lot of stuff going around on the internet where if you do it this way, eternal damnation for you, or something horrible's going to happen. And, it's not really like that. It's more about what is the optimal scenario for you. And I have found that one mantra, you tend to get more of the repetitions in, you tend to stay more stable in your mantra practice, and you end up getting more of a feeling for what the flavor is of that form of truth. I guess that's a good way of putting it. That form of truth through that one resonance, that doorway of that mantra. Because mantra is really nothing more than a doorway for truth to go through. And when truth goes through that doorway, it looks a certain way. When truth goes through another doorway, it'll look a different way, right? It doesn't mean one truth is bigger than the other. It's still the same truth. It's just the doorways are different. Okay? Just take what I've said today with a grain of salt and apply what feels right to you, you know? But if you want to make real progress with one mantra and really start to master this energy of that mantra itself, it really helps for you to have your subconscious and unconscious on board, right? So the chanting happens even when you're in your sleep, you know, it's constantly going. And that only tends to happen when you chant one mantra instead of like 20 or 30 at once, okay? So I hope that helps, and take care for now. Thanks for supporting my work, and I also want to let you know I also have another YouTube channel called Jason Gallant Music, and there I will be uploading meditation and music tracks, and feel free to listen in, and you can also access those tracks on my website at JasonJGallant.ca in case you want to download them for your iPhone or iPod or something like that. Okay? So thanks again, and I'll talk to you soon.